Yeah. Natively, as a sensite gnome, I have scent, actually.
Ooh.
I have scent, and I can talk to animals.
Scent is strong. You should utilize it more.
Especially when it comes to Muros.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was good.
I smell fermentation.
Don't smell anything.
And it's always Muros who's everyone's just thinking he's just casting blame. You smell that? Muros, come on, man.
I'm
We're kind of old for that game.
You're looking forward to leveling where as a druid you get a new talent that allows you to turn into people when you wild shape.
Humanoids, yeah. So all is basically elves, dwarves, halflings, gnomes. Every humanoid species out there is now open to my list of what.
Okay, so if you turn into a dwarf and go home, they're going to think you're the imposter. They have your body, and even if they ask the gods with their clerics, they're going to like, "Where's Muros?"
And he would be in front of them, the soul of Muros. I'm like, it gets. I'm not going to argue with you. It gets complicated, and you know, having a father as a war priest is interesting, and a mother who is like a clan boss is interesting.
I just saw the remake of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal, and they bring out this guy called Knox, and this guy, it's like characters that you haven't played yet, but could, Ryan, or he's the closest thing to Muros. Watch the movie and wait till they phone up Knox, this crazy Irish guy. And like, from start to finish, every scene he is in, he is like, he's Muros 110 because the guy is a force of nature. Anyway, how about some credits? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Elven Portal podcast. We are attempting to dip our toes in what I can only suggest is the new core rule edition. I mean, you know what's coming. We want to stay relevant. We went and bought the books. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, Pockets. Thank you, Cast, for supporting and helping all of that come true. But I got to ask you, now that you've dropped off the patient and have left the temple and are back at Caden's Keg with, I'm assuming Karem is just tagging along to either like...
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get answers out of these guys, but they're too drunk to talk.
Until he gets shooed away, he's like, they haven't told me to leave, so...
Yeah, that's true. That's good. So, it's late at night, and zooming in here at our favorite watering hole and what we like to call home base.
Could you zoom slowly, please? Not that fast.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's funny because they literally hand you a castle, but it's being renovated, so you guys spend most of your time here. So, I guess that tracks, right?
With our we like to hang with the people.
Yeah. People that buy you free drinks for that one fire you put out, and some goblins you saved, which now turned into slave labor. We're totally
riding that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Karem, right? And he's overhearing people going, oh, those dwarves, they worked those goblins to death like slaves. And no, just kidding.
Those goblins will kick your ass.
Yeah, they're definitely in good shape now, right? They're not no longer your
they got 2 levels of monk. Have fun.
Well, specialist anyway.
I'm like, they're shite masonists, but man, they can throw a punch.
So what's the plan now? A little while later, still the middle of the night, you guys decide to go back to drinking. You got Karem in tow. Maybe he's telling you his tale.
Oh, yeah, drinking was never off of the menu.
I better try to... since we're in a, pub establishment,
Mm-hmm.
Try to gather some information.
Why, yes. Yeah.
About the Scarlet Triad.
No. Man's on point. Man's on point tonight, I tell you. I just realized how we just kind of burned last episode till a couple of things connected at the end. It's kind of a fluff episode. But that's all good. We all need a little downtime.
Yeah.
Can I have gather info in the tower? Do you guys want to aid?
I think it went in there.
I didn't hear any click noises.
Gather information is under what?
Society, usually, I think.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the
Secret
topics.
mode. In the actabilities.
I'm sorry? The what?
Right above the
diplomacy.
actions.
Oh, you're
tab.
talking about Taz. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yep. Because then I don't have to put it in the tower because it does it for me. Because it says it's secret. Using more tools from fantasy rounds.
Yeah, I could just pull up the party sheet and do like a group roll. You know, you wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, give me a willpower
It's
save.
it's under
never mind.
diplomacy. There it is. Gather information.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we do well.
Oh, you like some results? I'm sorry. I was waiting for everyone to throw in the deck. It's just the two of you.
Might be a good idea.
All right. So I'm just curious for starters. Niles is working his people. I mean, he works here. It's his temple. Muros is drinking. Al is going between the usual babysitting of his cousin so he doesn't get too rowdy, drinking, and maybe, getting to know a new guy. You are in a tavern, trying to let your guard down a little bit there, Karem. Did you want to tell these guys a little bit more about yourself, your mission, or are you still just sort of following them at arm's length like a lead?
I would tell them a little bit about the Scarlet Triad, kind of warning them.
What you know about it? Okay, so in your words, what do we know about the Scarlet Triad? And like they're wandering the room, and you're just like telling Miro, so like I know everything about the Triad. This and this. They come back, heads hung low. We didn't learn shit. Muros becomes an authority. Sorry.
No, it's an investigation tactic. I get you as drunk as I am, and then I have strong doubts that you have the same tolerance that I do, and then I extract information from you. So hey, there you go. Short round. Drink.
The gnome is more prone to drinking, napping, than coming back and drinking, and claimed he was awake drinking the whole time as opposed to being dwarven. But, the stamina's kind of there.
You only forgot shape-shifting. That's the only thing you missed.
Okay, Karem, so why don't you tell Miros and the boys in their in and out before I read their rolls off what you might know about the Triad?
Yeah, the Scarlet Triad, they're a group of slave traders, usually in, halflings. And they are, I'm trying to think, they're under the guise of a trading company? Is that right? And they're somewhere up north. That's kind of what I got in my own memory bank, I suppose.
Your own memory. Well, it's always good to like organically, what the player might know, as opposed to just like, if you don't, then you say, well, what does my guy know? But I just thought before you filled the room, you do know a little bit more just because of where you're from, what's going on. And these guys did pretty good with their rolls. So whether you spend 10 minutes cozied up with a single patron that happens to travel, Al, whether your own clergy or maybe someone that's just come through here from the north and it's secondhand information saying this guy talked all about how he escaped and I'm trying to remember everything. Sorry, Vicar. And he's, telling you this second or third hand, Niles. Okay. Or whether you guys get back and Karem is I mean, we do have a little bit of time before dawn, filling in the blanks. I am happy enough to tell you thus. First off, what Karem told you is true. But there's a couple of interesting things. They're a mercantile consortium, as the halfling was trying to wrap his head around. They're based out of Katapesh, but their interests are diverse and varied. Their primary businesses is importing and exporting luxury, spices, magic items, and text. But in recent years, that's involved the halfling, but he hasn't got too much in his own secrets, started to felicitate the placement of specialist experts and mercenaries for other organizations with particular needs. And that also trickles down to the whole whether you want to be a specialist and head out there and serve that need or not. They were founded not long after the Age of Lost Omens began, when an already powerful merchant guild in Katapesh merged with a fleet of traders who ran a route between Katapesh and Cheliax, and a dwarven trade organization who maintained relations between the 5 King Mountains and Katapesh directly. Now, you boys have never heard of them, but it's a little unsettling that these guys kind of sneak in the back door of your mountain and actually have dealings with some type of dwarven mercantiles inside. Now,
Aye, normally we dwarves don't let anybody in the back door.
All right, I'll give you that. It kind of sets you up for that. But it's Niles who also learns something on a total fluke.
I rolled well.
Oh, yes. Yes, you did. The DC was high, and you actually beat it by 3. Al came close, but not good enough. The Scarlet Triad is based in a structure called the Red Pyramid, within the city of Katapesh itself. They are currently in good standing with the city's packmasters, and as a result, the organization has the protection and sponsorship of one of the region's largest and most powerful city governments. The Scarlet Triad is notoriously private, and additional details about them and their leadership cannot be learned just by asking around or recalling knowledge. Other than rumors that they have begun to dabble in the slave trade, very little else is known about their hierarchy.
Cool.
And Niles actually earned the party a bonus 80 XP for hitting the crit success mark.
Yeah, baby.
Nice. Nom nom nom. Good stuff.
Yay.
How do we fight like a whole city government?
We don't.
It's a couple modules. Follow the breadcrumbs.
First, you build our army, then we
How far
go
is
invade
Katapesh
them.
from where we are?
Or I'm just saying, I'm like, one of us is called Anvil Breaker for the last name. There's a reason behind the name.
It's true.
How far away, you say? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, pulling up the world map once again.
Oh, there's some sexy small text.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's a far walk.
Yeah. Okay, so
Man.
where you are here on Isgar.
There's the Island of Terror again.
Yep. If you head straight south into the Inner Sea and go over to Absalon, right?
Oh, Absalon.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have to leave this continent to get to Katapesh?
It's actually,
forward,
yeah,
go back.
Katapesh is actually close to where you were in the Moagi Expanse. It's actually on Garund.
Oh, okay.
So if you head south of Absalon and kind of hit what the Glorians' version of the Suez Canal, only much wider.
And they reach all the way out here.
Everyone who reaches, when it gets to that level, they reach everywhere.
They reach west of you to Cheliax, and these guys are here now, and they reach into 5 so they're established in Cheliax. They're established in the 5 King Mountains, and they're out of Katapesh. Why their agents have come here, they were looking for one of their own Now, you didn't find anything identifying Vaz with the triad except some scribbles in her own notebook. So maybe she's just someone dealing with them, right? And they wanted to come.
They were a means to an end for her. She did say that.
Yes, and vice versa. But, when you owe the family money or made promises to deliver on something very valuable, like, I don't know, didn't Thorpe actually mention the portal ring? Like, straight out going, she knew about it, we knew about it, where is it? We hear you know where she is, come work for us. Pretty open, Do you enjoy handcuffing other people, moving them to far off places where they never see their family and friends again and forcing them into labor? No, don't want to work for us? No.
You can't handcuff that which does not have hands.
No, they draw the line at slavery, but apparently one of you's into cannibalism until he wild shapes once again.
I saw no gnomes.
Cannibalism is any sentient. You eat somebody else. You eat anything with a mind and a soul, it's considered cannibalism.
Oh, okay. In that case, yes. Yes,
now,
you never clarified it like that.
Now, usually when someone says someone's a cannibal, yes, they're eating their own kind. They're cannibalistic as in they will literally eat their own kin. But in broader terms, it's still like, a little bit further expanded than marrying your cousin.
I will handle cleanup. That all is all I'm saying. I will clean up after the fact that we made a miss. And I will not let this go to waste.
I will say, if you look at the new map I've put up here. Okay. If you zoom in on Avestan.
Only 8 names.
Yeah, yep. But you see Avestan, right? Okay. You see the Eater Sea that runs right under it?
Yes.
Do you see the parcel of land that's under the sea, but it's all sandy?
Under the sea, yep.
Okay, come to the top corner and just come down. That's Katapesh. Top corner is Syrian, Egypt. Come around the corner, it's Arabic, Katapesh. And that's where they are.
Yes.
You go over the mountains into the dark green patch. Hey, you were just there in the Mwagi Expanse. One of your portals led to the Mwagi Expanse, which is connected to Katapesh by land, though it's a trek over a mountain, all the way across the inner sea. Perhaps somebody else is interested in your beer distribution system. It's just that their beer would be hand delivered, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Have a complimentary Al Brick Stone Chucker beer with the slave. Now that maybe you could double down with the branding. You got a deal, sponsorship, Let's get in on this.
Well, this beer's for you.
It would make sense if they're looking to transport bodies that way instead of by boat. A lot easier. You don't have to go through security. Yeah. Don't have to do anything.
You guys went through one portal. How many are downstairs?
5 or 6.
6. And how many are broken?
All of them except for like 1.
No. I mean like broken.
Oh no, we fixed one. So yeah, just the one that got blasted out, right?
There's the one that you came in through that had all the melted elven ruins, and then it ended in a portal that was like blown apart. Even it's almost like they drilled a back hole into a way station that fielded itself onto this dimension, right? So there's one that's destroyed, the Lotus Gate. And through its sort of backdoor emanation, you found the room. There's 5 more portals. You went through the Hunter's Gate after turning it back on. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Right? And now we're holding
the turn on the Hunter's Gate.
Yes. And then you're holding the key to what's known as the Dream Gate.
Ooh.
That's going to be fun.
Interesting how you have to go through the Hunter's Gate to get the key to the Dream Gate. So if you made these portals and they're out of circulation and they're not working anymore, instead of keeping all the keys in the hub, you found one key through one portal for another one. What's not to say...
Yeah. There was an effort.
What's not to say that it's very generic for a video game?
Yep. Yeah, normally
our princess is not in this castle.
Yep. Fuck off and get platforming, bitch.
Yeah. Well, it's better than I'll tell you and give you what you need, but first you must do this for me,
Yeah.
cut scene to Miros just beating the crap out of the guy. I'll tell you anything. Just spare my family. Don't eat my children. You know, I ain't doing your laundry and getting your quest item. Just tell us what we want to know. You know.
Well, that's fine.
It's good to have a reptile on your team.
Thorpe comes flying back down. You know, like, you sure you don't want to work for us? They're like, you're very efficient. I'm just saying, you guys will be great enforcers. You don't have to work for us directly. You know, you don't have to touch a slave trade. Apparently, we deal in magical items, spices, and all kinds of stuff. You know, the flesh trade is only recent. You know, I mean, he's a rental. See that guy? We know that's dwarf, right? You know, he rent.
I mean, like, the dwarven society has a whole slave thing. So
cast.
Yeah.
Cast-ish.
Oh, you mean like dentured servants where dwarves are bad and they put them into like workforce labor as a
families?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're a miner, you're a smith, you're a king, you're
back to the caste system. Yeah.
Yeah. Dwarves totally have a caste system.
Yeah, know your place, right? See, I don't think Miros and Al would do very well in the Sky King Tomb adventure. I think they would do great because they would like just fight against the man like every turn, you know. Oh, know your place. Yeah. No, I'm not a dwarf.
That's why they haven't exactly sent search parties after us.
Yeah, that's right. Eh?
We took the eclectics. We put them in a team. Saying,
so where did your nest egg come from to start the brewery? Government sponsored. Don't they do that for everyone?
This group, yes.
You guys needed money to put together not only the cart, the wares, the travel expenses to bring down 6 dwarves, right? There were 6 of you. You, Al, Miros, Theowen, Rourke, the alchemist, our druid nature gatherer, and the paladin. 6 dwarves came down the mountain, right? Opening scene, 3 of them go off, and you guys come into the town. Okay. Theowen's gone back with your body. The paladin went with him. That only leaves 2 on site at the brewery and 2 in the party. And 2 have gone home. Who funded the expedition? We've been hinting strongly that the Anvilbender family put up the money. And that Elbrick is very, very afraid of, shall we say, Miros' parents.
Moira, she's a miner. She can bust stone.
Like a stonemason.
Miner, actually. She was a mine boss. Back when she was a wee young lass.
Yeah.
She ran crews of hundreds of dwarves, digging tunnels through the 5 mountains, getting precious minerals. So, when it comes to having to deal with an obstinate individual, it's really actually not that hard to deal with one individual when you're used to dealing with a wall of stone.
So, what do you do? What does she do now?
I don't know. I didn't know.
She was retired when you grew up and went out?
Well, no. Miros he has an eclectic set of parents, and so he has an eclectic upbringing. He was actually raised by his folks, but his tutorage, there was no monks around him who taught him how to monk it up. It was actually an old adventuring friend of his father, Stovik's, named Torvik, who raised him and taught him the ways of a monk and showed him how his body was the best tool he could ever have and ever use.
Oh, like Uncle Io to your Zuko?
Yeah, no, Torvik was great. No, phenomenal. In that sense, because Torvik was a student of Stovik. Stovik being Miros' father. And, his mother, Moira, she was a miner. He remembers all the story. She was always busy with work at the time. So she never had a lot of hands-on time with Miros. When she was there, it was quality good time. But she didn't have a lot of time. She was busy dealing with businesses at all the times. Running mines has to be busy. So that's what Miros knows.
Okay, let me put together 2 things. First of all, is this what you witnessed growing up? Or is all this is what Mom did, stories, allegedly, that she told you? Don't answer that. Think about it. And second, I think I know why the halfling left. It wasn't because of crazy dreams. It's because the dwarf came over and looked down on her and went, "You have my mommy's name." because Moira of Desna and his mom's name is Moira. I would freak out anybody 3 foot tall. Hey. Anyway, guys, drifting off to sleep. Crashing here. Karem, you're lucky. Apparently, one of the party member is a cleric, and this whole tavern is a temple to the god of drinking and partying, Cain Kalilian. And because you came in with these guys as a drinking buddy, they just put you up, give you a cot. You know, these guys pass out on tables and bars. They're actually, Vicar isn't comfortable. He can't sleep unless he's actually on the bar. Like he hasn't slept comfortably in the jungle in frickin' 40 days. Comes home, clears out his spot on the bar, just lays right out there.
Puts a 40 behind his head.
Yep, gets just, and it's got to be single malt whiskey. No other pillow.
Every time. He knows if you change it.
Yeah, jump in here, Gibson, before me and Ryan destroy your backstory and all your habits.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all true.
Too lumpy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, it's all true.
It's been watered down.
He wakes up every morning just flinging it. Smash! I'm awake. Damn it, you know what you cost. That's why they send him adventuring. Every morning his pillow gets smashed. He owes the tavern a ton of money. Speaking of which, did we not settle up with rituals? We talked about rituals are free. They just teach them to you. And we weren't comfortable with that. And we're just like, okay, let's find a spell.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. I owe the church some money.
Okay. There's also the cost of making 8 potions, and the cost of delivering stone, because I moved all the ledgers to this new campaign, but I haven't moved your party loot or anything. So it's like we have all this debt, no way to pay for it because I gotta go back and bring all the loot over. However, even though you owe the tavern and some alcohol components to some of the local stores, you guys have credit built up with the Tuskhead company, or I should say Mr. Tuskhead, who is actually the main lead stonemason dwarf on the castle project. You guys have paid him 400 gold up front. I gave him a golden idol of indeterminate worth. 8,500 copper pieces, 2,000 silver, and another 260 gold, and just said, here, you're better than the bank, put it towards the castle. And he is slowly burning through that. And when that comes up, then the construction will stop, and he'll reach out for more money. And we'll get to that soon enough. With Glug Glug still staying at the castle, and trips into Breachill are just such a big thing for him getting climatized to an actual human society. You guys haven't broached any need to take him adventuring yet, and with him proving his strength every day, lifting rocks and stuff with his god, and the whole fact that we completely teased Doug that his cameo was up. With your
Hail Gurgus.
Yeah, with Lobrak, who is a good man to have in a fight and at your side. I mean, he saved Niles' life. He never left you, blah, blah, blah. But now we're in downtime. He's in the wind kind of thing. Maybe not a reliable party member, but he's a good man to have on the road. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Good man to have a fight, never betray you on the road.
I wouldn't want to be trapped in the jungle with anybody else.
Exactly. But now that we're home, it's like he hasn't severed ties. He's just vanished,
Well, he's been banished from his tribe, so he can't come to the keep.
No, but he's in town. So you think, and he hasn't turned up yet.
He'll show up when is necessary.
Now this halfling...
We just assume he's always sneaking around somewhere nearby.
He is.
Right. So getting back to the triad... The halfling hasn't told you where he's from and where he tracked Thorpe from. If you guys couldn't catch Thorpe and he came from somewhere, maybe the halfling knows where Thorpe is going back to. Or are you happy that you've just kicked their asses, sent them packing? The triad is somehow involved with Voz's bullshit and business, and it's time to get back to building the castle, retraining our feats, turning ourselves into new core edition characters, and getting on with that Doom portal. Like, what do you want to do?
Well, typically, standard where I come from is that once you get soaked in the teeth and you have to choke a few of them down, you're not quick to run in and choke down a few more.
So more downtime, please. Is that what you say?
No,
I mean, we don't have time to watch teeth grow, Muros. But
no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you watch. I'd make a tooth grow right now. Watch.
I have a few new brews I'd like to try out with some ingredients I brought back from the Milwaukee Expanse.
Oh, okay.
Well, I will say that there's that tense day or so, but no more triad activity. You guys are officially in downtime, and then there's Karem. Karem. Thorpe turned invisible and flew off, and you decided to come here, stake him out. These adventurers have sent him and his forces to the wind. I'm assuming you're staking out Breachill for a little while longer to see if they send any more agents.
Yep. And maybe even specifically these guys, since they were singled out for some reason.
Yeah, and they're trouble magnets, obviously, right?
Seems that way.
Okay. So coming up with excuses or until you're shooed away, you're just sort of hanging around town.
You came to study with us and the goblins. It's a hate, Karem. That's fine. I've taken on students from across the continent. I don't care that you're short and you're round and you got wee little arms that can't swing for a mother's worth. That's okay. We can train that out to you.
Do you want to gather information on these heroes, Karem? Throw a roll in the town?
No, you don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah. I would love to tell my players what the whole town thinks of them quite literally.
I think it's a great idea. It's like Googling yourself.
Yeah. Matt does. Most of us check our bank statements. Matt Googles himself once a week to see how things are going.
Same as always. I am unknown completely to the world.
Okay, Karem. So every year this place has a hero's call. The heroes are steeped in the actual town lore. There is this founding father wizard that allegedly came across. Here he is here. Everyone loves the statue that's literally downtown in the center of town. There's our guy. Good old Lamond. Found a bunch of 120 people, 200 people, just all with no memory, wandering around this unexplored region. And they were going to perish as the seasons change. And this wizard used his guts, his grit, his know-how, and his magic to get them sheltered. You just couldn't move that many people. They would die trekking a mountain. You know what I mean? There was nothing here. So he kind of built a refugee camp, right? Taught them how to live off the land, survive, all this stuff. And they just stayed. They have no family to go back to. They had no memory. They stayed and they grew, and then they started forming up their own families, and they started building a town. And then suddenly this little place called Breachill kind of popped up as, people discover it, come through. Great, we can go north. There's a town here, trade, type of thing. And, over 100 years or so ago, this guy, they erect a statue of this wizard because he stuck around and gave a shit and cared for these people and set them up to teach a man to fish, feed him for life, right? So they love him. But they do a couple things differently. Because of that freedom and there's so many people, they're really not prejudiced here, which is nice. You do not get the standard halfling second-class citizen you would in Taldor, or even slave third-class citizen that you would get in Cheliax, or even Revendell and Kintargo, your home, which has recently been freed from Cheliax and that tyranny thanks to the Hell's Rebels adventure path, right? There's a real sense of community, and everyone has a sort of mercantile, right? They're not your friend, but everyone's nice, wants to sell you something. But hey, you could use these tools, right? You could use this food. You know what I mean? It's not like scams where they try to convince you need something you don't and then scam you. They have legit goods, and it's like, hey, I happen to notice that your boots are worn. My cousin sells boots.
Old-fashioned small town.
Exactly, right? Every year they have the Heroes Call, and they have this town council where people come together going, we have a problem. What's your problem? There's a plague. There's ant-hags in the fields. There's trolls attacking. Whatever it was going on, was brought to the council, and they would hire adventurers. So adventurers would show up around this time of year, around the Wizard's Lament, another tavern that's practically out of business since these guys showed up. And they would all confront the council, and the council would say, right, we need you heroes. Here's the big mission, right? This year, they're 11 miles out of town. there was this abandoned fortress, a citadel that belonged to Hell Knights. And these Hell Knights, the Order of the Nail, were anti-Fae, anti-wilderness, pro-civilization, and they wanted to strip and beat back the wild, as it were, right? Kind of ironic that now it falls into the hands of a drinking monk druid, but fate would have it. They won the right to the castle by clearing it out of monsters and finding the deed and going, hey, finders keepers, look, I have a deed. And they're like, yeah, by Hell Knight law, by Cheliax law, by Isgarian law, because we're next to Cheliax and kind of have their laws, it's theirs. But these guys spend most of their time with their human cleric friend right here in town, boosting business, telling tall tales, and adventuring. But everyone just thinks they just go to this castle and work on it and come back. But there's people here that come for supplies from the castle saying, no, the heroes don't hang out there. They're in town. And the people in town go, no, they're really not always here. We thought they hung out at the castle. There's word that they want to start a microbrewery, and they have a secret brewery somewhere in the area. And that's where they must spend all their time, because they're always talking about beer, sampling hops and stuff. They've quasi... you've never met dwarves that don't talk about Torag. They're really in with this human and Cade Calligan who's into drinking. So it's almost like this environment has adopted these young dwarves that have come down the Five Kings Mountains, and they are molding the town as it molds them. Unfortunate, there was a fire. These guys found the culprit. The culprit himself is a halfling, and he's in custody if you'd like to go talk to him. They arrested and caught a necromancer who they've brought into private custody, and the dwarves have schlepped her around in some sort of weird slave labor because she broke laws, animated dead, and one of their cousins has literally kept her chained to him in a sort of a dentured service, kind of frowned upon by you and your kind, but apparently the gnome next to you died, and they're not too clear about some of the dwarves left to take him home, and yet he's here and now a gnome, so you don't know if he's adopted dwarf gnome, or so there's a couple of connected dots that they haven't been clear about, that as they talk to you, you assume you know. The townsfolk fill you in. Dwarf died, reincarnation by some far-off elves, brought back here. What elves? Oh, the half-elf desert? No, was there elves in the there's gaps in their story. They just show up, and things have changed. And every time they do, they have more gold, more scars, and more tall tales. But they do seem to be guarded with the pertinent information. But they're trying to start a business. They're probably guarding their secret formula, their booze. So that makes sense. Was there anything specific you were trying to learn? Some of this back and forth could be kind of shady, but they straight up, they didn't know about you outside, and they straight up laughed in the Triad's face and then viciously, wiped them out because they were dealing with some minor merchant that they were fond of or dealt with,
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, I guess, what does the Scarlet Triad want to do with them? I mean, they clearly singled them out and tried to offer them something. So either they're a threat to them or...
Yeah, now they came looking for one of their agents, and these guys had captured one of their agents. So that agent stops reporting in. Those sneak thieves in Helftrup came looking for the agent, and they just talked out of their ass, yeah, we have her, we're not telling you shit, right? So they know something, or the Triad knows something very valuable. You don't send people across the globe to track down a loose asset unless that asset was sitting on something important. And if that asset traded sides, companies, or got captured, you need to go silence that asset or get it back into the fold. And that's their involvement with the Triad, because they captured this person named Vaz, who apparently, according to them, isn't dead, is getting schlepped conveniently up the Five Kings Mountains with their friend's corpse, who they're returning home.
Okay. Yeah, I think in that case, I might actually go talk to the halfling that started the fire and see if he knows anything.
Okay. Kelmet doesn't want to talk unless you give him favor, food, You know, something that's affordable to an adventurer like yourself at your level. You know what I mean? Like, you just break a gold piece in half and buy him a nice meal. And like, easy, you know what I mean? Like, at 9th level, this is not first level bullshit. Like, it's easily affordable to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can do that.
And I will hand wave a little bit halfling to halfling because he's been stewing in jail for a while. And he's at the point where it's like, I'm not getting out. I'll tell you what I know. But give me a good meal and blah, 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 right? Okay, so anyway, he doesn't take you for too much money. He just takes a really good meal and maybe a bath or something out of you and then tells you he doesn't know shit about them, right? Ha, 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 thanks for the cleanup and the meal. But again, he didn't, like, swindle you out of your house or whatever. He worked under Vaz. And she worked for the Triad, but he's learned that later. He didn't know that when he worked for her. He wanted to be an apprentice. He's small town halfling, wanted to learn something big. Necromancy is powerful. Secretly found out she was a necromancer. Worked at the Nudge Wink bookstore that she owned. And then got caught up in something to do with the goblins and went rogue against her orders. Went out to the castle, captured a bunch of goblins that were squatting there, held them hostage. A goblin hired these dwarves to go out and save her own little people, and this little shit got dragged back here by his ears and thrown in jail for kidnapping, taking hostages, threatening lives of citizens, because they actually recognize goblins here as citizens. There's goblins walking around in the council. Like, talk about not a utopia. I mean, there's obviously some minor prejudices, but it's like a human here owns a stonemason company that's huge. There's a dwarf across the river that owns the other big dwarven company, stonemason, that our dwarves have hired. And the prejudice is like mercantile prejudice, like rivalry. Not because he's a dwarf or because he's a human, because they're both fucking stonemasons and want a corner of the market. It's really alien from where you're from, where in Cartago there was a caste system that got broken down and everyone's like a freedom fighter now. And it's like after the French Resistance where they dishevel and chop off the nobles' heads, and now everyone's, no, I wouldn't call it communism, but there's sort of everyone works for everybody. And the caste system, the power vacuum quickly got filled by other powerful factions in the region. I mean, the Hell Knights that got kicked out of Cartago are actually replaced by other Hell Knights. But this one faction of Hell Knights actually hunt down missing people. But that's something to get into in the future. Calmet takes a meal off of you, doesn't know much about them except for the fact that he got caught by them. But he can tell you some more about Vaz. She was a half-elf necromancer. Worked for the Triad, though he learned this later, and she was sitting on a secret that they wanted because the Triad gave her a crap ton of frickin' money that she used to finance her own little lab and the bookstore in exchange for something. Now, as far as he knew, there were no slaves leaving. Like, she wasn't like rounding up children or anything like that. There's like, the community is so tight knit, you can't have people in this town disappear without somebody figuring it out soon. You know what I mean? There just isn't that big of a city, right? And as far as like drifters coming in, we don't get that many where you could like, tourists, get them. You know, so the slave trade through here is pointless. So why the hell would the Triad? Well, they're also interested in several other things. That remains the mystery. And that's about as far as you could get with NPCs that are here, unless you want to talk to the guys directly. Of course, they don't know you and you don't know them, and the roles you give me in the tower. What do you want to do next?
Okay. There's only two things I can think of. One would be to check out their newly found castle.
Okay.
See if there's anything around there. I know there's goblins potentially around there, or to try to find their secret brewing facility.
Okay. Gather information society on both?
Sure.
Okay. Their castle lies 11 miles out of town. No big secret where it is. And people come and go. Like supplies go. You just follow the wagons, you know. And they're not, who are you, and get out and stay out. They're just like, sure, you can come with us. fed off the wolves, 11 miles out of town's only like a couple hours walk, right? So you come across a citadel, and there's holes in the walls and battlements that are destroyed, and they have a whole bunch of town people and goblins and masons rebuilding this place day and night. This place is covered in scaffolding. It's a massive project. It's like, damn, these guys got to be fucking rich. Like, it must cost a fortune to rebuild a castle. You know what I mean? You go up.
It does. And our traveling gear suffers for it.
Right. You get up there, you ask around. They're never here. The last 40 days since they're the owners, they show up, they pay for everything, and they leave. They don't hang out here much. They inspect things, and they're always talking about the brewery that's going to happen. But no one knows about anything about a brewery on the grounds. They're pretty pleasant. They ask if you're asking for work and what your skill set is, and if you want to join in, they'll put in a good word, and they'll hire you now and then tell their benefactors that they've hired you later and just get your money. You know what I mean? Like, they're desperate for any kind of any and all skill sets if you want to join in and pick up a pickaxe or whatever, right? Strange take on goblin labor. They go through materials faster than a regular smith, but they work for half as much, so it works out. These guys pay more in actual raw materials than they do in labor. So the actual stonesmith, Tuskhead, who's supplying raw materials, making a fucking killing off of these guys. Like, there's doing a dwarf a favor, and then there's like, I need 150% of supplies that I would actually need to supply myself. And he's like, okay, no problem, So they're shipping stone, wood, metal, like up the hill constantly, right?
Being a dwarf, he probably argued that it was way too much. And we're like, no, we know.
Yeah.
Oh no, he knows.
Just wait till you see your labor force.
Yeah.
To make a square block, you got to throw a bunch of stone out the window.
Yeah. No, he's on hand sometimes. He's either at home looking over things, or he's on site overviewing construction. And there's a lot of yelling going on. They pay in advance, and they're never here. They're the perfect employer. They're not looking over their shoulders. They give these guys free reign. They'll show up a week, and then they'll disappear for 2 weeks. That kind of thing. They'll show up and ask for some very specific things like this, and this, Can I have another gather information?
I may also ask if they know what direction they leave the citadel from. They come in, they leave, but what way did they go? Back to
He's
Breachill, or?
juicy info.
They go back to town. Like, they go back to Breachill. From the castle. Like, you're asking castle people, like, when they leave from the castle, where they go, like, they always head back to town.
Okay. Yep.
There is one minor sus thing. But somebody pipes up about something about their construction orders is strange, doesn't make logical sense. Like, why wouldn't you do this before doing that? And the guys shut up immediately. That's a secret, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So you don't have to push, right? You don't be asked that looking around. Anyway, head back to town, right? Yeah. Make your way back to medieval town. Did you want to ask the same questions here? I mean, you keep pushing your luck. It's going to get back to them that you've been asking about them. And then when you're seen with them, people that like them might kind of go, hey, that guy was actually, the guy that you're buying drinks for was like asking about you out at the construction site 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah, I don't think I'll find better information in town unless I actually went to like the stonemason, and he might not know anything. So, no, I might just kind of pick their brain a little bit more about what the triad might have wanted with.
Okay. Now, normally it's up for a player what they would yield, but I have a fun idea. What if we use the player's character DC, and if you can roll higher in one of their drunken stupors, which is, 24 out of the 23 hours of the day, they might let something slip that they don't think they're slipping. They think they're being ironic or funny, but your investigator, high-functioning brain might put 2 and 2 together if the players don't have any objections.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
if he were to do a diplomacy check society on you guys, just about some things you're coming and going, that type of thing, and I'm assuming Karem, you as well are going to offer up stuff. Let's make this fair. You guys want to know more about this little halfling that's always hanging around? He says he's staking out the triad. Do you ask him why? He's here for the triad.
I thought I had a new student.
He didn't show up for practice this morning. He fucked off.
That's an X against his name.
After we had made it back to Cadence Keg, I'm sure that, after our little gather information sharing stint, we would have asked him a little bit more about his background.
Okay. What are you willing to give up? Or maybe, tit for tat, you guys roll against his character DC since it's only fair. And we'll see what Karem lets slip. Everyone's got secrets.
Everybody's character DC should be the same, right? Basically.
Hey, do you guys have a huge secret? You don't think I would ask somebody that we couldn't, Drew and I came up with a cool secret and then have him join the party so so you don't just have another floater. You know what I mean? Lobrak's got secrets. Glug Glug's Glug Glug. He's great.
Glug Glug is an open book.
I know. But that's his charm, right? You're so pretty, Joey. Hi, Doug. Yeah, I'm going to pay for that later. I know it. It's going to make
24 to 23 hours a day. Sorry.
You like that?
Explosion. Yeah. He's like, that doesn't math.
Yeah.
That's how drunk they are. That's the joke. It's like I reverse the numbers because they're so drunk. Get it? No?
Mm-hmm.
So
that
let's talk about
our dedication to our religion, Jeff.
I always
Caden
have,
converts.
I always have,
Starting to become.
Yeah, so
we haven't reached Vicar's level of dedication yet.
Okay. They slept in most of the day, and now we're getting to like afternoon or whatever, and we're back around with happy tavern times. So waking up the crack of noon or later. Just a question: calculating your character DC, Joe. I always have trouble with this one.
Yeah, your combat tab.
Combat tab.
Yeah, there's a CDC.
Oh yes. 27 is my CDC.
That's mine too.
Yeah, so we should all be the same if we're all the same level, right?
Yeah.
All right. And so we have to beat that.
27.
That's possible. That's a doable thing. And with diplomacy, I guess probably.
I picked society myself.
Yeah, because you're trying to find out about someone in their background, so it's probably society. Unless, like, what's your knowledge of arcane magic? Well, then you would talk magic with him and see if he slips, right? So, who are you? Where you're from? Seems like society to me. So yeah, that's why I was asking.
I'm trying to train him. So for me, it's athletics.
I don't know.
All going with the highest skill that we have. Surprise, surprise.
Sorry, SDC or because there's an SDC, but there's no CDC on Muros or on Vicar, so I'm confused. They're different.
What's your CBA and your ABC?
No, I'm just saying in the same thing. There's a CDC in the investigator, but you go over to Vicar Niles and he's got his spell stuff, spell attack, spell DC, but not a CDC.
I've got a CDC.
I have a CDC on its green.
You have an SDC is green, not a CDC. CDC is red. Because I'm looking at both characters. On Karem, I see CDC.
Okay. Could we bust out these acronyms?
On you, you've got two. You've got a purple S attack, SATK, and a green SDC, which is your spell DC. Right?
Which is
doubles
25 for me.
Yeah, which doubles as your...
Because I am only trained.
Oh, it's based off of your main skill. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the spell DC and the class DC
are the same.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your DC? Is it where they're at?
27.
And Muros?
Which tab is this under?
Combat.
Yeah.
Combat. Yep. Clicked it. Attack, defense, spell. Oh, CDC, monk, 25.
Okay. So we've got... where are we here? Down the bottom. We've got Karem trying to figure out... Okay, so who wants to go first? I need one more roll from Karem. He's hitting all three of you.
Me.
Okay. I need one more roll from Karem. Okay, so 2 fails and a success, Karem. And Al,
Whose secrets did he get?
the first one, yours, you got a 29. Al slips. Maybe it's part of that big story. Well, you did tell the story last night, right?
Yeah.
Went into too much detail.
Oh,
No.
you want to see the brewery?
Oh,
Right. I'll
Well,
take
what-
you.
What if Karem knows things about the Moagi Expanse or the people or more things about arcane knowledge, and the sorcerer was vague, but the investigator has more knowledge of, you know what I mean? It's like flushing air into a carburetor, right? It's like flushing air into your car. That doesn't make sense. He didn't say carburetor, but Karem goes, car, flushing air. He's probably talking about a carburetor. That's what I'm talking about, like that kind of slip. You're not slipping, but the guy's smart.
Stone.
Yeah. Something like that, right?
You didn't walk there?
Anyone else having a go at Al did not do well against Karem. Anyone else have a go to pry some Karem secrets? Do you guys want to roll society against Karem? Learn about him?
Roll society?
Please, yeah. I don't see you. Oh, sorry, Niles. Okay, yeah. Natural 1. Make shit up there, Karem. Niles is open book to you.
So then I was born to a mother and a father of human heritage.
Well, no, it's just like he nails the Gather Society and learns deep secrets about the Triad and actually gets us XP. That's rare. And then he turns to the guy next to him and goes, tell me about yourself. Don't lie, because I could tell. No.
He's like, I was born to a dwarf clan.
Yeah.
Been hanging around dwarves way too long. I can't read any other race anymore.
Nice.
No. It is the consequence.
He thinks he's being stoic, but when a human puts on a stoic face, it's like count the veins that are popping, and he can tell you, read you like a book.
Are you giving me a stink eye? What are you doing?
The fuck is sober?
So anyway, do you not have any training in society? Miros, you want to take a stab?
Oh, the fuck no.
Okay. He'll tell me when he's ready, he says, right?
I'm not going to embarrass myself willingly. Like, I will. No, sorry, let me rephrase this. I will embarrass myself willingly, but with a stat that I have at least 1 point dedicated towards.
Okay. So, he got, where are we here?
Deuces?
No. Just looking for 29 out of 27. You got 2 points over your DC. So I'll let you slip on. He didn't crit succeed where you just start going on about the portal itself. Give me 2 minor things, 2 hints, Al. Role play me 2 hints where Karem might suspect there's more going on than just a brewery. Or cannibalism.
In my story, I told about battling the mighty fire dragon in the passage between realms.
Very nice, sir.
And
I really like that. That actually ties back to your own religion. I'm going to give you a hero point for that. That is excellent. That is excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Too bad they all. I don't know, man. Too bad they're all going to reset next week. So.
I know. I'm just like, I got to use these.
Did you want to use your earlier one to re-up against Karem?
It's like, I gotta eat first.
What's your DC, Karem?
27, same as yours.
Yeah, so I'd have to roll like an 18, I think, to hit it. So that's like
he beat you with a 10. He got 10 plus 19.
I know. So no, I'm gonna save my hero points.
All right, for combat.
For rolling my downtime activities.
Okay.
Ooh. I'm gonna spend some time crafting.
All right. So we've kind of gone we're well into a second episode about getting to each other, sneaking around. I really like.
Well, I do owe another hint though. The other hint will be.
Oh no, that's good, man. That's huge.
Oh, okay.
I would say. Oh, okay. Another hint, but about something unrelated.
Yes.
Another secret of yours.
Yes. mentioned that that there's a tunnel that leads to the brewery from the castle.
Okay.
Offhandedly.
Secret tunnel.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. 2 unrelated secrets.
I am so
chatty
happy.
little fellow, you.
The only reason the wife and I watched Netflix Avatar is hoping they would put the traveling band that sung Secret Tunnel in there, and they did.
Yes, they did.
They totally did. It's just, yeah. I went into work and I mentioned Secret Tunnel to Spiegler, and he lost his shit. You know that? You know about Secret Tunnel? Like, are you kidding me? Every time my wife and I like get lost in the car, we just start singing Secret Tunnel to make us feel better about it. Oh, look, honey, Oh, look, honey, it's a shortcut. We'll go this way. She starts singing Secret Tunnel. It's awesome. List me your downtime activities.
I'm making
Retrain?
alchemical goods to sell to the town because I can craft higher than the town's level now.
Oh, you're going to put the little gnome guy out of business. The trading guy.
I'm not going to put the gnome guy out of business. He can't provide this. I'm not going to touch his market.
Are you going to sell to him? Or are you just going to sell on the street?
No, I'll sell to him. I'll wholesale.
Okay. Kind of you, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with too much, Like,
there's a lot of accidents out of town. Some douchebag doesn't have like the standards of construction code. They're just using crap labor and they're just throwing asbestos and stonework at the problem. You know what I mean? A lot of Haley potions. Wait a minute. You're genius. You're causing the accidents with crappy, and then you sell the. Oh, is this your plan all along?
I uncover the. No. So I can. Yeah, because this town is low. Like, this is a level 3 town. You said, right? I believe.
Level 4.
Level 4. Okay, so no, I'm at level anyways. I think. Yes. Anyways, I can make money. And I do kind of need some money.
Okay.
So
start rolling. What do you boys want to do? Any retraining?
Need to set the DC, but I'm not going to make anything particularly challenging. I'm just going to make high quality ingredients. I'm going to do refining.
I'm going to use my handy dandy Fantasy Grounds DC setter.
Perfect.
Okay.
And yeah.
And are you trained? Are you expert? What are you?
Roll. I am an expert.
Okay.
And apparently rolling a 3 gave me a critical success. That doesn't make sense.
And you want to put in a level 4 item? That makes sense?
No, I'm doing the earning income activity. So it makes a certain amount of gold per day of doing it.
Okay.
And
Crafting expert versus DC 2 critical success. I did not say it was a DC 2.
Okay.
You must have rolled while I was still pushing buttons. Try rolling again.
That's possible.
Try rolling
All
again.
right. Well, I'm going to say that was a fail because it doesn't make sense to me that it would be a critical success.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spend a hero point to re-roll that activity.
All right. Man of his word.
That's much better. A 13 versus DC 24 is a success. I do competent work. Gain the amount of currency listed for the task level and your proficiency rank. I am expert and... it's task level? Oh, I'm way above the town then. Way above.
You make some bank.
Yeah, I'm expert, level 9.
All right.
4 gold per.
All right. And the rest of you guys are going to start some retraining, and we will get back to all of that next time.
All right.